Oh, you're not going to do this video for me? I gotta do the video. Oh, my bad. My bad. Calix Boxing 2.0. Hit that sub button, hit the like button, hit the alerts. Power Punchers podcast out on this channel now, featuring D-Style Boxing. Make sure to check that out as well. All fresh boxing content, nightly, daily, all boxing, all the time for the hardcore fans here. Deontay Wilder hit the mute button on that press conference with Tyson Fury yesterday. He said, heavyweight champ, like, I got to promote a fight? Promote a fight? I'm above that. Let Tyson Fury promote a fight. Promote a fight? I'm going to sit here, listen to some slow jams while Tyson Fury promotes this fight. Promote a fight? I'm going to sit here like this. Deontay Wilder, why did he do it? Why did he sit there with the headphones on yesterday? That's the question everybody has. Look, man, it's not because Tyson Fury is in his head. That's not what happened yesterday. I see people out there saying that. He's listened to Tyson Fury over and over and over again for 2 years. He didn't all of a sudden just get tired of listening and put headphones on. That's not what happened. What happened yesterday is a result of throwing out false allegation after false allegation after false allegation after false allegation for 14 to 16 months. And finally getting in front of a press where someone, just maybe someone in the boxing media will ask this guy a tough question. And he'll have to own up to throwing out false allegations or try to explain himself to someone who may finally ask this guy a tough question. We see it in Washington all the time where politicians carefully control their content and what gets out there. They selectively give interviews with certain types of media outlets and then stay away from press conferences because press conferences can go sideways because someone may ask a tough question. And that's what Deontay Wilder has been doing for 16 months now. Throwing out false allegation after false allegation and going to people in the media who will feed and regurgitate this nonsense to people who know no better about gloves and putting egg weights in gloves and grinding out the padding in gloves right before a fight starts and his own trainer poisoning him. Imagine that. His own trainer got with the other side, got with all the powers to be in boxing and conspired against this one man because they just cannot handle this one man being the heavyweight champion of the world and being successful. So his own trainer, Mark Braylon, he had no issue throwing under the bus for the past 16 months and saying his trainer poisoned him. And that's what this was yesterday. This was, I don't want to answer any of those questions. I don't want to answer it. I'm going to have my yes man over here, Malik Scott, who took a dive in our fight. Took a dive. And I'm going to have him answer all the questions. I'm going to have him do this press conference as my headphones fall apart. These aren't Beats by Dre. That's what that was. That's what that was. Afraid to answer real questions from possibly somebody. There was going to be possibly somebody in the media ask this guy a tough question, and he was scared to death of that, and that's what the headphones were. And you saw that when, right after the press conference, who did he do an interview with? Ellie Seckbach. And Ellie Seckbach, I'm sure, after this interview last night, had to get his mouth surgically separated from Deontay Wilder's nutsack, because that was an embarrassing interview. Just an embarrassing interview. It was almost as bad as the interviews I've seen in the LDBC with Deontay Wilder. Just completely embarrassing. What a clown show this all has been. Complete crap show. And that's what that was yesterday, man. He just did not want to answer any questions. Don't overthink this. Don't overanalyze it. I saw Mark Braylon's son on Raw Boxing TV yesterday. Great interview by Raw Boxing TV, talking with his son, and he's saying, you know, my dad has taken the high road. I had to beg my dad to come out and defend himself against this. And my dad was taking the high road, just staying quiet, saying, oh, nobody's going to believe this stuff. But you actually have morons out there believing this stuff, that his own trainer poisoned him. You know, it's one thing when You're talking about the other fighter putting stuff in his gloves, whatever. But Deontay Wilder is lucky that he doesn't have lawsuits on his hand right here, because you're falsely alleging that a trainer is poisoning you. What do you think that does to that guy's career? You're throwing him under the bus for your legacy, because you're afraid to look in the mirror and say, I got to take this L. I didn't do good enough. I have to get better. And instead, it's easy to play the victim mentality and blame everybody else for your shortcoming. And now poor Mark Braylon is losing clients, I'm sure, because of this nonsense and taking the high road. Mark Braylon's a good man. Good man. Because a lot of people would have went a different direction with this. So Deontay Wilder, you had all of the boxing media out there to prove the allegations yesterday. You had the whole boxing world, and I'm sure casuals out there as well, waiting to hear, the fireworks that we were promised from the Deontay Wilder crew out there, saying, oh, we're going to see fireworks. We're going to see him explain what happened with the second Tyson Fury fight. He's going to talk about the allegations. And instead, what do we get? We got that. Why do we get that? Because he has nothing. Because he has nothing. Not even he believes that Tyson Fury had 8 weights in his gloves. Not even Deontay Wilder believes that he rubbed down the padding. Not even Deontay Wilder believes that Mark Braylon poisoned his water. Only you morons believe that. And that's why we got the headphones yesterday, because he couldn't prove anything. He had no allegations. He had nothing to back up, no evidence to back up allegations. And that's why we got the headphones yesterday, because he was going to finally be asked tough questions from somebody, from maybe a few people in the media, and he had nothing to back it up. Nothing. Not a thing. The floor was his. The floor was his. He could have backed it up. No evidence. Nothing. Church mouse. Poor Mark Braylon sitting there at home, having endured this crap. Brutal. And Mark Braylon threw in the white towel to save this guy from himself. Did the hard thing that every trainer fears he has to do. And instead, this is what he gets. Instead of thanks, this is what he gets. Crap. Complete crap. And that's why we got the church mouse yesterday, because this guy has no evidence to back up his nonsense. And then he goes on with Ellie Sec back after and pushes more nonsense. Just brutal. Brutal. Y'all can have it, man. Y'all can have it. Brutal.